Sean, I think one of the most interesting stories in the whole gem history and lore is the story of heat treatment of sapphires.
Right. And this is one of the most ancient recorded records of how treatments, how enhancements were done. And then in this case in particular for corundum, how they actually heated corundum to colors like blue and pink and so on. This is blue sapphire. The history of that, the actual history of heat treatment, is thousands of years old. Ancient India describes the process. They have texts that actually describe how they put this corundum inside coconut husks and would put it in a fire and actually have reeds that they would blow into the fire to create enough heat, 1,500 degrees to 2,000 degrees, to actually improve the color and clarity of that stone.
And those written documents are variously described as 1500 BC to 3000 BC. So it's some of the oldest written historical records on Earth talk about the heat treatment of blue sapphire. It's kind of an interesting fact. The modern day heat treatment of blue sapphire was discovered and created by the Thais in Chonburi, Thailand. These guys in the 70s, they were like modern day alchemists. They learned how to take a type of sapphire that had been mined for perhaps thousands of years called Gouda. It's a sapphire that was very milky with a very semi-translucent. It didn't have transparency, and it was thought to be relatively useless and worthless. But the Thais cracked the code, learned how to heat it in these blast furnaces. They started going to Sri Lanka and quietly buying this material up for very little money. After a few months, the Sri Lankans, this is a story I heard when I first went overseas in 1980. After a few months, the Sri Lankans got wise to it and started doubling and tripling the price. Within a year, the price had gone up to thousands of dollars per carat for the rough. But during that time, there were two heat treaters in Thailand. They made hundreds of millions of dollars because they were buying things for pennies and then creating thousands of dollars of worth. But today, there'd be no blue sapphires in any of the jewelry stores if there wasn't modern day heat treatment.
Right. This color blue that gets produced from heat treatment rivals some of the best natural colors.
Yes.
And if we just, as Jay's saying, if we just stuck with unheated sapphires, there would be virtually none available. There really are only probably 1% or 2% of the blue sapphires that are on the market now that actually have that original unheated, all-natural color. So that is a rarity in itself. So when you can actually have that blue sapphire in a natural gemstone, that's a real find.
Absolutely, and in our collection we've got some unheated Burma blue sapphires.
Great country of origin.
We have some unheated Sri Lankan, perhaps some unheated Madagascar. We even have some matched pairs. It's look in our collection for the unheated blue sapphires. They are delightful.